The first time I saw the homeless man, he was digging through a trash can outside my office. The second time, he was sitting across the street watching me. The third time, he saved my life. And 3 weeks later I discovered he was my father. The same father who had supposedly abandoned me when I was 3 years old. The same father my mother claimed never wanted me. The same father I had hated my entire life. If someone had told me that a homeless stranger would completely destroy everything I believed about my family, I would have laughed. But that's exactly what happened. So my name is Ethan Walker, and this is the story of how a homeless man turned out to be my father. I grew up hearing only one version of the story. According to my mother, my father was a selfish loser, a drunk, a gambler, a man who chose alcohol over his family. Whenever I asked about him, her face would harden. He walked away from us. That was all she'd say. As a child, I believed her. As a teenager, I hated him. As an adult, I stopped caring. At least I thought I had. By 34, life was good. I owned a successful marketing company in Chicago. I drove a luxury car, lived in a high-rise apartment, and had built everything myself. Or so I believed. One rainy Tuesday evening, I left work late and noticed an older homeless man sitting near the entrance. His clothes were worn. His beard was gray. His shoes looked 20 years old. As I passed him, our eyes met. For a strange moment, he looked shocked, almost emotional. Then he quickly looked away. I didn't think much of it, until I started seeing him everywhere. Outside my office, near my apartment, at the coffee shop I visited every morning, always at a distance, always watching, never approaching. It became unsettling. One day I finally confronted him. "Why are you following me?" The old man looked nervous. Then he smiled sadly. "I'm sorry." That was it. No explanation. No argument, just an apology. I walked away irritated, but something about his eyes bothered me. They felt familiar. A few weeks later, everything changed. I was crossing a busy intersection while answering a phone call. I never saw the delivery truck. The driver ran a red light. People screamed. Suddenly someone slammed into me from the side. I crashed onto the sidewalk. The truck missed me by inches. When I looked up, the homeless man was lying on the pavement. He had pushed me out of the way. His arm was badly injured. As paramedics loaded him into an ambulance, I heard him whisper something. "At least you're safe. At least you're safe." Why would a stranger say that? That question haunted me. The next morning, I visited the hospital. He seemed surprised to see me. "You didn't have to come." Yes, I did. For the first time we actually talked. His name was Michael. He spoke softly, politely, intelligently. Nothing like the drunk failure my mother always described. Over the next few weeks, I visited regularly. The more we talked, the stranger things became. We liked the same books, the same music, the same baseball team. We even had identical habits. One afternoon a nurse walked into the room and laughed. "You two must be related." And neither of us smiled. Because for some reason, the comment didn't feel like a joke. Then came the moment that changed everything. Michael suffered a medical emergency. The hospital needed information quickly. No family contacts existed. While helping staff search through his belongings, I found an old photograph. My heart nearly stopped. It was a picture of my mother, 30 years younger, holding a baby. Me, the photograph slipped from my hands. I stared at Michael. He stared back. Tears filled his eyes. And then he finally said the words that would change my life forever. "I'm your father." The room went silent. For several seconds, I couldn't breathe. Then anger exploded inside me. "No," he nodded. "I know what you've been told." I stood up. "You abandoned us." His eyes closed. "No, Ethan, I didn't." I stormed out. For 2 days I ignored his calls. Ignored his messages. Ignored everything. Because if he was telling the truth, then somebody had been lying. And I wasn't ready to face that possibility. Eventually curiosity won. I agreed to meet him. What he told me sounded impossible. Years ago, he and my mother went through a brutal divorce. Not because he abandoned us. Because he discovered she was having an affair. The divorce became ugly. Very ugly. During the custody battle, accusations flew in every direction. Then Michael lost everything. His business collapsed during a recession, legal fees consumed his savings, and eventually he lost custody. According to him, my mother moved to another state, changed addresses repeatedly, blocked communication, and spent years convincing me he never cared. I wanted proof, not stories. Proof. The next week, Michael handed me a box. Inside were hundreds of letters, birthday cards, Christmas cards, photographs. Every year of my life documented. Every letter returned unopened. Every gift rejected. My hands shook as I read them. One birthday card simply said, "I miss you every day. I hope one day you'll know I never stopped loving you." It was dated 22 years earlier. There were dozens more. then hundreds. So my entire understanding of reality began crumbling. But the biggest shock was still coming. A DNA test confirmed everything. Michael was my biological father. Without question. Without doubt, he had been telling the truth. I felt sick. For 30 years I hated a man who had spent 30 years loving me. The realization was devastating. When I confronted my mother, she finally admitted part of the truth. Yes, Michael had fought for custody. Yes, he had tried contacting me. Yes, she had hidden his letters. Her justification. She believed he would eventually disappoint me. She thought she was protecting me. But protection built on lies isn't protection, it's control. For months, I struggled with anger. Anger toward my mother. Anger toward the lost years. Anger toward myself. Then something unexpected happened. Michael and I became friends. Real friends. We went fishing. Watched baseball games. Shared stories. Slowly we began building something neither of us thought possible. A relationship. It's not the father-son relationship we should have had. That time was gone forever. But something new. Something real. One evening, while watching the sunset from a lake outside Chicago, I asked him a question. Why didn't you tell me sooner? He smiled sadly. Because I wanted you to know me before you judged me. I looked at him. And if I'd never found out? He stared across the water. Then I'd still be proud of you. That answer broke me. Because it was the kind of answer only a father would give. 3 years later, Michael passed away peacefully. His cancer finally won. But before he died, we recovered something precious. Lost time, not all of it. Nobody can recover 30 years. But enough. It's enough for me to know who he really was. Enough for him to know his son. Today, I still keep one of those unopened birthday cards in my desk drawer. Whenever life gets difficult, I read it, not because it reminds me of what I lost, because it reminds me of what I found. The truth. And sometimes the truth arrives in the most unexpected way. Sometimes it sits outside your office in old clothes. Sometimes it sleeps on park benches. And sometimes, the homeless man watching you from across the street is actually the father who never stopped loving you. Never judge a person's story based on one side of the truth. Time, pride, and resentment can hide reality for years, but genuine love has a way of surviving even the deepest wounds. If this style performs well, the next title, My Mother Left Me a Locked Box Before She Died, can be written as an even darker mystery, thriller with bigger twists and stronger retention.